Hello, and welcome back, folks. My name is Taj Williams. I'm a Medicare sales agent, advisor, and consultant. My goal with this YouTube channel is to bridge the gap between Medicare sales agents and the senior demographic to create a more educational and beneficial relationship between the two. So my objective is to arm future agents and existing agents with important information to become a successful and helpful member of the Medicare community and shed insight into the world that 10,000 Americans are aging into every day, so seniors are in a better position to guide their healthcare. In today's video, we'll be talking about a secondary Medicare option known as Medicare Advantage, which I'm sure in some capacity you've seen or heard about if you yourself qualify for Medicare or have any senior citizen friends or family members. First, I'll give a quick recap of what is original Medicare to help us better understand Medicare Advantage. And if you're looking for a more in-depth explanation, feel free to check out my other video in the top right corner. Now, let's get into it. What is Medicare? Well, generally speaking, Medicare is a federal insurance program. It is for those who are 65 years of age or older and those who may be disabled with either end-stage renal disease or ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. As we know, Medicare consists of two parts. You have your Medicare Part A and you also have your Medicare Part B. Part A is known as hospital insurance, Part B is known as medical insurance. So together, they help cover 80% of medical and hospital costs that a person may incur, right? That 20% is left up to the beneficiary, the person who is enrolled into original Medicare. And some people might look at that 20% and say, oh, well, that's not such a whole lot of money, but the reality of it is, as we grow older, that means our health concerns also get more expensive because we have to start going to the hospital on a more consistent basis. We might be seeing more specialists or just specialists in general. There's different procedures that we should undergo once we reach certain ages, so the cost can really add up. So you're looking at 20% of a pretty substantial number more often than not. Now, the importance of secondary Medicare options is to help mitigate that 20% that people would otherwise be susceptible to. So, in comes Medicare Advantage plans. Medicare Advantage is a secondary Medicare option, right? And oftentimes you can find that it includes a drug component. So for those who need prescription medication coverage, Medicare Advantage plans, they do offer that drug coverage, right? Medicare Advantage plans, they're offered by private companies such as Humana, United Healthcare, Cigna, Aetna, Devoted, WellCare. So there's quite a bit of options when it comes to searching around in the marketplace. Another reason why it's helpful to link up with a sales agent, specifically a broker, was a variety of options that they can review with you. Not only does Medicare Advantage help out with that 20% that original Medicare doesn't cover, being your hospital expenses and medical expenses, it even offers, or it can offer, benefits above and beyond what original Medicare, that is Part A and Part B, is capable of offering, such as dental, hearing, vision coverage, the food benefit, also known as the Flex Card. The same goes for that smart Fitbit watch you guys might have heard about, and also over-the-counter benefits. There are two main types of Medicare Advantage. You have one with the drug component. You also have another without the drug component. And we'll get into the reasons why a person might want one over the other. With Medicare Advantage, you also have different types of network groups. There is what's known as an HMO, provider organization, and then you have a PPO, provider organization. Simply put, HMO means that an individual has a primary care doctor, and in order to see a specialist, they need a referral from their primary care doctor. So the primary care doctor acts as a gatekeeper to their medical coverage, or healthcare coverage rather. Now, they're restricted within the network, meaning that if they travel outside the network to receive care, then they'll have to pay 100% out of pocket for that care. Whereas a PPO allows individuals not just to receive care within the network without needing a primary care doctor's referral, but can also travel outside of the network to seek care and coverage. Now, there's usually a higher cost for those who travel outside of the network as opposed to receiving care inside the network, but they do have that option available to make their healthcare more flexible and versatile for them. In both scenarios, I can't really say that one is better than the other. It really comes down to the individual and your personal needs. Another reason why you should consult with a sales agent, advisor, or consultant. And there is also another main type of Medicare Advantage plan, and that is known as a DSNP, or a Dual Special Needs Plan. Now, these Dual Special Needs Plans are reserved for those Medicare beneficiaries, so people who have Medicare Part A and Part B, but also have some level of Medicaid. And with Medicaid, some people may not know this, but there's several different levels of Medicaid a person may qualify for. The importance of having Medicaid when it comes to Medicare Advantage is you'll have a wider array of benefit options available to you in most cases with the higher level of Medicaid that you have. But there is a caveat to that. In some instances, even people with low levels of Medicaid can qualify for high levels of benefits. But at the very least, those individuals who have Medicaid, they'll have their Part B premium covered. So your Medicare Part B premium covered. Yes, there is a charge for it, and as of this year, that charge is about $174 a month for most individuals, and especially those individuals who do not have Medicaid. Who is Medicare Advantage for? Medicare Advantage is really for most individuals, especially those who are on fixed incomes. And the reason why is because most Medicare Advantage plans are $0 per month, meaning there's no charge to an individual on a month-to-month basis. And that has immense pros. So it's almost like a pay-as-you-go plan. If you remember those cell phones back in the day, and even nowadays, you only pay when you need it, right? So not only is it for those who find themselves on fixed incomes in their retirement years, but also those individuals who may be relatively healthy, right? So you're not going back and forth to the doctors every so often. If you are going to the doctors every so often, you have a plan that accommodates, with reasonable co-pays. And yes, co-pays are a factor of Medicare Advantage plans. And what a copay is just a nominal charge or a nominal fee for services rendered. Case in point, if a person has to see a specialist, there might be a $25 charge every time they need to see a specialist. If they need an inpatient procedure, or if they're going to be an inpatient in the hospital, there might be a $100 copay for the first 5 or 6 or 7 days in the hospital. If they need an outpatient procedure, there might be a $0 copay if their primary care doctor is rendering the service in their office, or there might be a $355 copay if someone other than their primary care doctor is rendering the service outside of the primary care doctor's office. So with different services of Medicare Advantage plans, usually plans that are not dual special needs plans, there will be a copay. And we won't get into the nitty-gritty of dual special needs plans in the instances where people may have copays with those types of plans. We'll cover that in its own video, okay? With Medicare Advantage and who it's for, even if you have some health concerns, it's still important to be in a Medicare Advantage plan, in my opinion, because In cases where individuals are enrolled in another type of secondary Medicare coverage, what they're paying in monthly premiums for a whole year usually equates to what they might expect paying co-pays with the Medicare Advantage. And with the Medicare Advantage, you have the added benefit of all those additional coverage options like dental, hearing, vision, over-the-counter products, flex cars, all types of things, silver sneakers, that they just can't find in other types of secondary Medicare options. Or if they do find them, they'll have to pay additionally and separately for each other service or benefit that they're looking for. So you can see how the cost can add up very quickly. Some individuals watching this who are already on Medicare, who might be veterans with TRICARE or veterans benefits, you might be thinking, well, is Medicare Advantage still for me? And for those agents out there watching who have been exposed to the Medicare industry, or even if you haven't, pay very close attention. You might come across individuals, if they're receiving veterans benefits, thinking that they don't need Medicare Advantage because they're already getting help from the VA. Well, again, in my experience, and even talking to some of my family members who are veterans, it can be very difficult sometimes to receive care from the VA. I've heard things like very long wait times. Some of my clients, at least, they feel like they're not getting the most adequate care when it comes to the VA. No shots fired at the VA. I'm just going by what my clients share with me on a daily basis. So for those individuals who have VA benefits, if you're in that pool where you feel like your service could be better, or you feel like you want a more robust care in regard to your health care, Medicare Advantage definitely can be the way to go. And I would say at the very least, combine it with the care you're getting from the VA. You're not going to lose your VA benefits by simply enrolling in a Medicare Advantage plan. You're only increasing the level of care that you will be getting. So there's no harm to you in selecting a Medicare Advantage plan. So why not get the best of both worlds and all those additional benefits as well? Now, another benefit for those who are veterans or who get benefits from the VA is that with those types of plans, they often don't accommodate any type of prescription medications because you get that covered through the VA. And with those types of plans that don't offer prescription drug plans, oftentimes you'll find a cash back benefit, meaning that you can get cash money back into your Social Security account. So just another reason why considering a Medicare Advantage plan might be the way to go for you. In regard to my TRICARE folks, it gets a little trickier, right? So with TRICARE, there comes into play the matter of who pays first, who pays second. And I believe, based off my memory, that Medicare pays first. So that's your original Medicare, then the Medicare Advantage plan, and then your TRICARE pays last. Now, when you factor in Medicare Advantage with your TRICARE for life, it gets a little tricky because now you're starting to have to file your own paperwork and submitting claims as far as any type of healthcare or hospital care work that was rendered to you. So sometimes paperwork can get lost in transit, like as far as getting it to the back office of your primary care doctor. Sometimes you could be left holding the bag with some co-pays or bills that you otherwise would have had covered had you only had TRICARE for life. Now, I'm not saying that to discourage you from considering a Medicare Advantage plan, because it still could very well be in your best interest. I know TRICARE is a very great coverage to have, and you won't lose your TRICARE by getting a Medicare Advantage plan. As a matter of fact, to my recollection, you actually need Medicare Part A and Part B to even qualify for TRICARE, and to even qualify for a Medicare Advantage, of course, you need a Medicare Part A and Part B as well. But I just want to make you aware that things can get convoluted if you're not the type of person who is organized and keeps a good track record of everything, really, especially their healthcare. Then that is something to consider, or at least something to delegate to someone you're very close to who is better about organizing things and making sure they keep track of paperwork and submitting paperwork for you. Even the people who have money to spend, I would say Medicare Advantage is the way to go. If you look at it from a business perspective, you're paying all this money in premiums, or you could be paying all this money per month in premiums for a different type of secondary Medicare option, right? And the idea, at least from what I've heard from most clients, is that, well, when I go into the doctors, I don't have any co-pays. Okay, but are you looking at how much you're paying annually? Are you looking at how much you have to pay for your standalone drug plan? And, God forbid you need any type of dental work, vision work, hearing work, you're paying separately for all those plans as well, monthly. And, we have insurance for not what necessarily is happening now, but what's going to happen in the future. So in a lot of these cases, you're paying all this money for something just in case something happens later on, right? From a business perspective, why not have an option where you don't pay anything per month? And if you ever need to utilize the services, well, you just draw from that pool of money that you have and pay your little nominal copay. I mean, to each their own. But for me, I'd rather hold on to my money and only pay for something when I need to pay for something. But again, it comes down to your own personal needs, your comfortability level with your healthcare. And also, I would advise consulting with a Medicare sales agent. They can definitely point you in the right direction, as long as they know what they're doing, of course, like me. To me, I think everyone deserves a Medicare Advantage plan. It just makes sense. It's a package deal, very inexpensive for most folks, and even those Medicare Advantage plans that have premiums, it's definitely more cost effective in about, I would say, 85, if not 90% of cases compared to other secondary Medicare options. So in a nutshell, I know I couldn't cover everything in Medicare Advantage. I'm sure there's something I forgot. I'll be sure to include that down below. But I appreciate you guys for sticking by and watching this Medicare Advantage video. And if you feel like it's helped you or you gained any type of knowledge and insight, please be sure to click the subscribe button, mash that like button, and please make sure to share it with someone who could find some value and use in this. Until next time, folks, you guys take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.